it near the airport? Seaview's not even close.
Nah.
It's across the bloody harbour. We're live? Cool. Alright, well, welcome to the KIHL Season 4 Entry Draft. My name's Nathan. I am the KIHL co-founder, and I've got with me Matty Chan making a special guest appearance this evening because we are in beautiful Wellington. It's been a cracker day, and yeah, I mean, thank you for coming along. Really appreciate it.
No problems. Happy to be here.
Yeah, awesome. So, I mean, obviously, you had a bit of a sneak preview of what the list looked like ahead of time.
Yeah, some good names on there.
Yeah. Thinking, what are you thinking? Any gut feel?
Oh no, there's some big names left out. Even after the predictions, I hate to hazard a guess, but I saw McMahon wasn't predicted for one. It's just struggling. There's a few good names there.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. I think this draft's going to be quite an interesting watch.
100%. I think when you throw in that you've got another, and congratulations on this, a sixth KIHL team. It's fantastic to see that growth too.
No, appreciate it. It's going to be good. So, well, before we kick into the draft, I do have a few sort of housekeeping things that we're going to do just for the uninitiated, I suppose. So, in terms of this year's draft, in previous years, we have done an order change between Division 1 and Division 2. We're not doing that this year, because we don't protect Division 2 players. It doesn't make a lot of sense to reverse the order to the Division 2 standings, so we've just done away with it. All players will be just drafted to a franchise, so you know, you get picked up by the Dolphins franchise, and then sometime between tonight and the first games, those managers will then obviously go and set their rosters. So regardless of where a player is picked, they could end up playing Division 1, Division 2. You know, if you're like me, you might get left right out.
Makes sense.
It does, makes a lot of sense.
Not you being left out.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry, that's what I meant. What else do we have here? Oh, also, because we've expanded, we are going to just 8 players, 8 skaters in Division 1 and a goalie. Just helped us achieve that expansion number without overcrowding our sort of Division 1 rosters. There are some other tweaks to the rules that will become apparent to the players at a later date, because we don't want to give the whole game away right now. Also want to, just before we jump into it, I'm hoping the boys in Waihi are watching already. Give them a bit of a shout out, Craig Day. I'm sure you guys are having a blast. And with that, I mean, we may as well get into our first pick. Is it? All right, okay, cool. I see what we're doing here. All right, so obviously the Falcons up with the first pick. They had their protected players, Johnny Andrews-Knight, Sean Craig, who was moved by a trade, and Todd Moore-Jones. And with their first pick overall in the draft, they picked Brandon Fletcher. That's a big name.
Yeah,
it's a big name pick.
I heard a lot of good things come back from the boys that were at the Wolves that were at Rink Wars about Brandon, so he was in good form.
Yeah, he played a hell of a tournament actually. For a guy that hadn't seen a lot of rink time leading up to that, or at least that was my understanding, he was definitely a standout player on that squad he was on. Really good name. Looking forward to seeing what he can do and how this squad's going to stack up. All right, we'll jump into. Second pick, the Sting, General Manager Joe Dowman. So joining Mitch Hurley, Brandon Johnston, who was also part of the Sean Craig trade. So switch between those two franchises, and Shane McLean. Jason McMahon, finally heading to a new franchise. Let go into the draft and just snapped right up, eh? What are your thoughts on that one, man?
Oh, good player, really good player. Not to tip my own hat, but I remember seeing this kid in under 14 trials in Oshis and having a big yarn with Anna Carrington back then about whether this guy should make it to the next stage, and yeah, he's come a long way. It's awesome.
It's good to see, eh? And again, another interesting one to see how he can slot in with a new squad, new surroundings. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting, very interesting team as this shapes up. Ooh, right. The new franchise, the Katapo hockey team, headed up by Nathan Lovell. New GM here in KHL. Unfortunately couldn't join us for the draft because he's sunning himself on Plantation Island in Fiji. So is phoned in. So joining Dane Hill, Cole Friedlos and Edwin Kilos. Another good pickup, I think, for these guys in the expansion draft, Ed. But adding Josh Gulliver to the list.
He's a good young player.
Yeah, he's a good player. You know, a season 3 champion with the Soldiers.
Of course.
So, you know, has some sort of...
It's got some pedigree.
Yeah, a bit of understanding what it takes to win in this league. So it's going to be, as much as I don't want to say it, it's going to be interesting. Again, it's all interesting, people. Oh, right, and the Royals, headed by the new GM, Jazz Hornapasco, joining James O'Donnell, Sean Dickinson and Tim McKay, I'm going to say relative unknown in terms of what the managers could find out ahead of time. Doing some research, by research I mean Facebook stalking. We do know that Jan Turia is a friend of this young man, and according to some of the information we've pulled out of our registration document, he has represented a country that is not New Zealand.
Oh.
If we take 2 and 2 and say, well, Jan was in Spain, I make a judgment call based on that last name and say potentially a Spanish young man and presumably has represented Spain. This guy could be...
Be interesting to know how Jazz got the inside word on this gentleman.
Yes, I dare say Jan has had a lot of people reaching out to him. Anybody who took the time to Facebook stalk probably dropped Jan a message and went, you know, give me the lowdown. But interesting pick. Honestly, based on what I knew, yeah, I picked him in the first round. I would have put him in there, maybe a little higher, but again, it's one of those things. It's a gamble, right? You hadn't seen him play. You're taking somebody's word, and not to say that Jan is not a trustworthy young man, but you know, eyes don't lie.
Yeah.
All right. The teal and orange, the Dolphins, 2-time champions, headed up by Dean Gibbons, 3-time finalists actually. So, you know, a good squad. Dean obviously knows what he's doing when it comes to picking his team. So,
yeah, big pickup here.
Big pickup.
That's a very scary looking top 4.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then to pair up Braden with Josh McMaster with some defensive expertise in Steve and Sam Beardman. Those are 2 guys who can move the puck, right?
Some good hits at the back. Yeah,
and 2 guys who can, you know, shoot, pass, and skate. So that's a dangerous looking squad up top.
100%.
4 guys, and you start going, oh yeah, that looks dangerous on paper.
A lot of good shots on that squad for sure.
Oh yeah. So teal and orange with a very strong first pick. Oh, my old squad, your old squad. Former Soldiers captain in season 1. Obviously we were sad to see you go to the Knights in season 2, but
it is what it is.
It is the nature of a draft league, right?
I think that's the fun of it though, right? You get to play with a whole bunch of different guys and experience some different hockey.
Yeah, meet new people. So yeah, joining Dion McLean, the current Soldiers captain, Troy Borthwick, who was moved. Troy Borthwick, who was moved in a trade with the Royals for I can't actually remember, draft pick and somebody else.
Tim?
No. Who exited? I can't think. It's not me. Oh, second round draft pick.
Yeah, that's
It was
right.
a second round draft pick. And Caleb Rock. We've got Jeremy Chai joining the team. New face into the KHL. Based out of Auckland. I've done a little bit of skating with Jeremy, had a bit of pickup in Glenfield. Good hockey player, very good hockey player. Yeah, he's going to be dangerous when you pair him up with Troy up there. And then Dion is just one of those guys, flashes of brilliance in every game. Just one minimum, one magical moment in every game where I just don't know.
It's that lefty thing, eh? They just dance you.
Yeah, and that's Dion to a T. That left-handed, make you look a bit dumb, score a goal and skate off like nothing happened. So yeah, Jeremy Chai joining the Soldiers. Oh, we're into the second round of the draft already, or the second round of picks with the Falcons up again. So joining the previous fourth, Johnny Andrews Nye, Sean Craig, Todd Moore-Jones, and Brandon Fletcher, a young man, very, very young man who proved himself in season 3 when he was picked up actually by the same franchise as a Division 2 player, played a lot of time in Division 1. I believe he is 16 from memory. Richard Wang, what
Good young talent, yeah.
Yeah, great pickup. I feel like the Falcons knew if they didn't take him here, he was getting snapped up somewhere else. Somebody else was going to take him, and that's the risk in a draft league. Is if you let the players you want, you know, you gamble, you lose.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, cool. Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
We're not quite as entertaining as Maya was last year, but we'll keep going. Alright, Sting with their second pick in the season 4 intro draft, picking up young Connor Robertson. He's just turned 22 actually, I believe. 22 yesterday from memory. Yeah, good young player. Yeah, a lot of pace, a lot of patience. Going to be dangerous again amongst these kind of old heads with the Mitch Hurley. You know, again, dangerous lineup there.
Yeah. Looking a bit younger too
than historically.
Than last season or this season's Sting just gone by.
I mean, I don't know what you're trying to say about some of your favourite players.
Contemporaries?
Yeah, contemporaries, yes. It's probably a good way to describe some of them. But, you know, you're right. There was definitely, I think if we were doing average age stats, the Sting last season would have been, I think, without question, the oldest team. Still a well-performing team considering. Oh, we're just getting a close-up. Yep, sweet. Hopefully everybody can see the screen better now. Oh, right, cool. Right, back to the Katapua with Nathan Lovell. So, yes, what a pick. My man, Benny Monteith.
Well, this is not a name I have to say I'm familiar with.
So, Benny is actually, Ben, as he's entered his name, I just like to call him Benny. He is Australian, based out of Melbourne. So our now third Australian in the league. I actually had the privilege of playing with Benny at ACC with the Western Dingoes in a Masters squad. We actually took out that tournament, and then Ben joined KHL with the Bushrangers. They came out to play, and Benny joined them to come and play over, was it Anzac weekend? Yeah, Anzac weekend last year. So I was quietly, not so quietly, very happy when I saw Ben put his name down. So I'm hoping he has a hell of a season actually, especially playing with. I'm not surprised that it's Lovell who picked him up.
I was about to say a bit of local knowledge there, I guess.
I think so. Benny is a very good player, and he is going to add quite a bit to this team. And yeah, we welcome him in. I think anybody who's willing to travel from Australia to play.
I just think it shows what the strength of the league is doing year to year. I mean, that's from further and further afield.
Yeah, exactly right. We'll just keep them coming, I reckon. All right, back to the Dolphins and the teal and orange, joining the powerhouse of Steve Adams, Sam Beardman, McMaster, and Braden Kettle, Caleb Scott, a young man, a big man. I have had the misfortune, I suppose, of colliding with Caleb a couple of times on the rink. He was always very nice about it, but it doesn't stop it hurting.
No, I bet. I had the privilege of a couple of games with him in Kuberni at the start of the year, and yeah, solid young kid.
Yeah. He's going to be dangerous. Dangerous as time progresses. Not to say I don't think he'll be dangerous this season, but
a lot of room to grow.
A lot of room to grow. Hopefully not too much.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Oh yes. The Dolphins with back-to-back picks due to a trade have picked up another, not quite as young as Caleb from memory, but another young man in Max Tor. Goodness me, another great young player. I don't know what it is about. Maybe it's a Ravens thing.
I was going to say, I think Dean's got something in the water there. He got something on these guys.
He's definitely drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
All right, back with the Royals and Jazz Honopasco in her first draft actually. So, doing it's not easy to be thrown in the mix, but she was looking prepared. So
another good pickup there. Ricky's been around the block for a while. He's a pretty talented scorer and good player. Exactly right,
Ricky. I'm going to apologise if you're watching. We do apologise for spelling your first name wrong. That's
sack the intern.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, things happen. It's fast moving. But Ricky's going to add something. This squad, shaping up. Obviously, James and Ricky have spent a bit of time playing together. Sean and Tim have spent a lot of time playing together. Then you throw in Oriole and how, I suppose how talented we expect he's likely to be.
But I think already with 5 rounds in, some pretty interesting makeups of these teams. It's going to be really interesting to who takes an early an early step forward. And
you can start to see that while there are people changing, there are also quite a few staying the same. Even if you can back them out. Well, Ricky's been a Royal before.
Yeah.
You start to see, people are going, okay, I'm comfortable with that player, and so I'm going to choose them.
Chemistry makes a big difference, right?
100%.
On and off the rink.
Exactly right. You can't fight chemistry. Goodness me, I feel like we are burning through these picks. Is this a rate of knots?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Maybe we need to slow down. We need more words.
Maybe we do.
I think so. All right. Back with the Falcons and Craig Young. So joining Johnny Andrews, Nye, Sean Craig, Todd Moore-Jones, Brandon Fletcher, and Richard Wang is Jack Schuler. That is quite the pickup coming out of the Royals franchise last season. Wow, good. That's a good pickup. I had the privilege of playing with Jack at Rink Wars. Just an awesome teammate.
Yeah.
Just that guy in the room I mean, we had a group of guys in the room that were very much just more about let's have a good time, play some good hockey, but yeah, really enjoyed getting to spend a bit of time with Jack and really sort of play in that squad. Not to say that I felt I belonged necessarily in the pro division. We had a player drop out and the team sort of went, well, if you want to play, come on.
No, fair enough.
And I jumped. I'm probably a bit old for that level of hockey now, I feel, but
it catches up on you quick, that's for sure.
Does a lot,
Yeah.
as you get up to nearer to 40. The body doesn't move the way it once did.
Not at all. Look at squad though.
Yeah.
Oh, Daniel Middleton.
Dan Middleton back in the mixer. What a pickup. Fantastic player. Believe he was the leading scorer in Div 2.
Yeah, lit it up.
Season 2.
Yeah.
Absolutely carved up playing for the Knights.
MVP as well.
Yeah. What a great player. I think we need to bring in another guest. No, I mean, by all means, stay put. I think we'll get Troy. So, the NHL has Sid the Kid. The KIHL has Troy the Boy. Troy, join us. Come.
I'll tell you what. No, I'll.
You're gonna bow out.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a pretty long shift for an old man like me. So.
Well, tell me about it.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, Matty. Appreciate you coming along. Go have a beer or something. I mean, we don't drink here at KHL.
Good liars.
What? No, we don't lie here either. We're a good bunch of honest people who are only drinking water this evening despite it being Crate Day.
Maybe me.
Yeah,
I don't know about them.
Yeah, well. At the end of the day, we're not a throwback to the season 3 draft. Let's. I'm sitting here hosting. Anybody who's been there in the season and remembers the season 3 draft will know what I'm talking about. And if you're not, don't go back and watch it. Just pretend it never happened.
This is the way.
This is the way. Straight out of The Mandalorian, eh? He's still on there. Alright, so what do you think about this? How do you feel that the squads are shaping up so far with what you've seen?
They're all looking pretty good. Like some good competition for everyone. Some young guys getting some call-ups, some good opportunities to prove what they can do.
Yeah.
In season 5. So.
Yeah. Any teams you think that maybe standing out?
Are the Dolphins obviously. The Josh McMaster and the Braden Kittle combo has been alive for as long as they've been playing. So they always play well together. Whether Dino puts them together or not is up to him. So.
Yep, that's probably a fair comment. He is the general manager. I would be short-sighted, I think, is probably the polite way to say it, if he weren't to put them together.
Yeah.
I mean, each their own. We're all entitled to an opinion.
And then with Steve Adams, Sam Bedman, that team's a force to be reckoned with since season 1, and it's going to continue throughout however long they're together.
Yep, I am inclined to agree. They're going to be dangerous. Some firepower and some pretty strong defence there, and
a pretty alright goalie.
Alright.
Alright.
Back with the news. Bloody franchise number 6. Exciting times, actually.
Yeah.
Just another team in the mixer.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you feeling about that? You think it's going to add a bit of?
It's going to spice it up well and truly. Like no doubt about that. They got some pretty good players that Nathan Lovell chose to protect, and at the start of the draft, I was a little bit curious on his picking, but for him, it's what he chooses.
Yeah. He's obviously got a plan in mind.
Like all other GMs.
Like all the GMs, and a lot of the time those plans don't become fully obvious until you see them sort of complete completed, right?
Yeah.
You start to see how the whole team shapes up, and you go, okay, I'm starting to understand what this guy was looking for and why. So
Sometimes they don't pan out at all. But
well, I mean, as the season 1 and season 2 Soldiers GM, I am well aware of best laid plans going to waste.
But all we can do is cross our fingers and see how they go.
Yep, exactly right. So joining the Katapo, Trey Merlot. That is another fantastic pick.
Very fantastic.
Yeah. I look at this squad and how it's shaping up. Trey, again, played Rink Wars Assassins with Trey, I did. Another just genuinely nice guy and a great hockey player.
Yeah.
So really looking forward to seeing how this squad can put it together. Yeah, we're all good?
Yep.
Sweet. Yeah. I will just make a commentary on the purple here. I believe this is sort of a working colour only. It may or may not change. It's not.
That colour scheme is pretty sick though. The black, the red, and the purple.
The black, the red. I do like it. I do just wonder whether there's
It's too similar.
too similar to the Royals in the blue. And obviously that's just something we're always working with, is making sure that we can tell our jerseys apart, because some of us are old and blind. Yeah, we're not all 18 like Troy. Some of us are much older. Speaking of similar colours
And previous franchises.
and previous franchises, yes, Troy's.
Unfortunately, no longer on this team.
Unfortunately, I feel like your GM in the other room might be a bit upset to hear that you think it's unfortunate to play for the Soldiers.
No, unfortunate. I'm no longer on this team. I don't mind, but still unfortunate.
Yeah,
This team is looking pretty well.
It's looking a good team. It's quite interesting actually to see you move to the Soldiers from the Royals, and then to see this pick, Zyron Hurst, who
Was previously on the Soldiers.
previously on the Soldiers, moved in the other direction. Also, you and Zyron both play, along with Arden and myself, play Thunder together. So, yeah, quite interesting to see two young Thunder players do the switcheroo.
Yeah, the switcheroo.
So, again, a good young defender, and honestly,
An amazing hockey player.
yeah, amazing hockey player. And the way he's been, we are fortunate enough, Troy and myself, to be privy to how Zai has been skating of late.
Yeah.
And
Much improvement.
wow, like,
Not that he wasn't great before, but after going and experiencing March for the first time, he's well improved.
that confidence, he's got that swagger, which, I mean, when I have to play against him, it's quite frustrating, but credit to him. He's come, excuse my language, but he's come back from March just
A new hockey player.
firing, absolutely firing. All right.
Speak of the Dolphins.
Speak of the Dolphins, yeah, back with the teal and orange, teal and orange. Yeah, I had it right. So joining this
Amazing squad.
another young player.
Who also came back from March with a newfound confidence, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Josh McGivney.
Josh McGivney, amazing player, great kid,
Huge character.
huge character, 100%. Love his stories in the locker room. He would tell some stories that, as an old boy, you kind of just live vicariously through some of the tales he tells, and then to have him join us after finals last season, have him bring his mum along, have a few laughs. It was a great time. I would highly suggest anybody who's got.
He's someone you want to know.
Yes, if you've got the ability to talk to him.
If you see him, go meet him. He's nice. His family's nice. invite you with open arms if you need anything.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh,
My new franchise.
your new franchise.
Pretty happy with those first 2 picks. I don't know Jeremy Chai. Like, he's been told that he's a good hockey player.
Yeah.
He was great in his day and still is pretty good. And Joel Ashworth is.
Jeremy Chai's a good hockey player. Joel Ashworth, obviously a former Wanganui Lightning boy.
Also, former soldier.
Former soldier, yeah, yeah. Pedigree, again, as Matt Chan alluded to. Pedigree, knows what it takes to win.
Yep.
Prior to, obviously, KHL Season 3, had taken a bit of time out. Was playing more ice, based here in Wellington.
Had a bit of a knee injury.
Yeah.
Got that fixed and is back into it.
Yeah, and he's,
Firing
again,
on all cylinders.
hell of a nice guy. A quieter guy, but genuinely nice human being and a great hockey player.
Seems great to play with. Not so much against, but
He's a big body to play against.
especially being small like myself.
Yeah, if somebody's going to push you around, Joel's going to give it a good nudge.
Yeah. Back to the Falcons
The Falcons, again.
with Cam de Boer. Looks a bit pink from this angle.
Does, doesn't it? Yeah. Picking up Cam de Boer. I can't think who he played for last season. He played for the Sting last season, so having a bit of a switch.
Had a pretty good season too.
He did.
No faults, to be honest.
Hmm.
Maybe Joe will have some other opinion, but
Well, I mean, opinions are like the proverbial. Everyone's got one. But yeah, interesting to see how he's going to slot in with this squad, and I can see
this is a very tall and fast squad. Richard Wang being the exception.
not tall but fast.
Yes. These guys all have speed. Like Johnny's pretty quick. Sean Craig, is unpredictable. Todd Moore-Jones, great goalie.
Yeah.
Brandon Fletcher, amazing.
Todd Moore-Jones is the only goalie in the league I can score on.
Five.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't score a lot of goals, but I got 5 goals last season, and they were all against Todd. He'll be super stoked that I'm saying that. I really hope he's watching and hearing that live on the live stream. Yeah. Anyway, Cam de Boer.
I see a pattern on Craig
Yeah.
Young's.
This is going to be a speedy squad. This is going to be the.
If no one can keep up, you've lost.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair comment.
Unless Todd has a stinker again. Moving over to the Sting. They picked up Sam Bays for their next pick. I think he's well and truly earned a chance to prove himself in Division 1. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Just an awesome dude.
Yeah. Once
Right.
again, another person you want to know. Like,
Yeah.
if you know him, then
Super friendly guy. Always chatting to people at the rink. Happy to help. And a hell of a goalie. And like you say, has definitely earned a spot in Division 1.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing how he stacks up and how he, I suppose, works on just the changing game speed.
yeah,
You
there's
know?
a big difference between Div 1 and Div 2. Sam being in Div 2 last season. He played a couple games, but he probably wasn't in the right movements and wasn't playing with the speed, up to the speed, being just chucked in the deep end because of some reason.
Yeah, I think it's definitely hard to. It's a hard adjustment to make for one game. You know,
Not
to be
even
called
one
up.
game.
Yeah,
Like
well,
it's
less
half
than
a
a
game.
game. Yeah, you're going in cold against shooters that are
Very, very good.
very good shooters, very accurate,
Powerful.
shooters.
Can put it exactly where they want it.
Yeah, so
whenever they want it.
I look forward to seeing what he can do once he's managed to bed in, you know, and obviously gets a bit of warm up against shooters like Mitch and Brandon and Jason McMahon. Like, these are guys who can
Rip the puck.
they can rip a puck, and yeah, hopefully Sam can really bed in and find his feet. I look forward to seeing it.
Me too.
Oh, David Saavedra.
A Vipers guy, I believe.
Yeah, I believe he's out of the Vipers.
I don't think I've ever seen him actually play a physical game. I think I've seen him at practice and stuff. He's pretty good, but I don't think I've ever seen him actually play a game.
Yeah,
Not a lot of information on this guy, so
no. I believe I've done. I may have potentially skated with him in Glenfield.
He's there a lot.
Yeah.
So he normally attends most of their free skates and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, with that in mind, I probably have skated with him. I do apologise, David.
He is pretty good though. It's
Yeah.
a pretty good pick for the.
You think he's a bit of a steal at that point in the draft, potentially?
Potentially.
Could outperform his.
I think that
Draft
Nathan could have got him a little bit lower because I'm not sure that any other of the GMs knew.
Right. You okay?
So, I think
So you think he's a good pick there, but
he
could have taken the risk to let him fall a little, knowing that the other GMs maybe don't have quite the information.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
I think that's a good statement. So.
Yeah, interesting. It's an interesting thought, and you know, as we have conversations, you know, and we've talked to GMs, you know, post other drafts and things like that. There's always an element of if you know, do you take somebody where you think they could go,
Yeah.
or do you
Risk it.
Well, exactly right. You know, could you pick up David down a little bit lower and take a player that's, you know, as good as
Well, that you know is as good as.
yeah, exactly, and you know, and then David becomes a steal because
No one knows him, and you've got him at this.
you got him at a discount, right?
Yeah.
Excuse the phrasing, but you got him at a discount.
No offense to David.
No offense to David. It's just a thought process, right? And how you can weigh up building the strongest team.
Yeah.
So back with the Royals with their pick
Number
for 4?
4.
Yeah. 4? I think that's right.
Yeah.
I'm so confused. 7, 6, 7, 8.
I think that's supposed to say 5, but it's a little bit of
That's all right.
an error. But Elliot Waghorn at number 4 for the Royals. I think this is also another one that could have been let to drop a little bit further. I don't think many of the other GMs would have taken him, but
Okay.
he is a good player. He's probably going to fit well for this Royals team, but I also think that he could
Could have picked him up a little. Okay,
have
interesting.
been a steal later on in the draft.
Yeah, right. Interesting. And again, just that, you know, potentially the other GMs aren't really doing their maybe aren't doing their research or don't know.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No offense to Elliot, but
Okay, well, that's fine. I mean,
my opinion.
okay, right. Okay, so added to the Dolphins, JC, Mr. Jared Carroll.
Amazing guy.
Amazing guy.
Great teammate.
Yeah.
Good defender.
Yeah. Played the New Zealand team with JC. He's a good friend of Arden, obviously the other KIHL co-founder. Was a Dolphin last year.
His return.
Returned.
Made his return. Obviously, proved a point to Dean for Dean to select him again. So.
Exactly right. Dean is not a guy who makes mistakes twice, from what I can pick up.
He picks you for a reason, and if you don't fulfill that, he's not going to pick you again, or he's going to trade you away.
Exactly. He wants a guy who's going to play the role that he's got in mind for them, and if you don't play the role, you
will either get dropped or traded.
Dropped,
It's as simple
traded,
as
or
that.
not redrafted, right? It's going to be one of the three.
It's as simple as that. Back to the Soldiers for their third pick, third pick, 'cause they traded one away.
Yeah, so they're a pick behind, aren't they?
Yeah.
As I keep looking at this, I'm going, why are they short one? But yes, that is right. Makes a lot of sense. All right, so I'll let you introduce this one. You know,
There's Amber Metcalf. She's a well-known person from me. She's a pretty good friend and pretty good hockey player too. Only female in the Prem division, so amazing.
Fiery player.
Fiery player. She's small, but she's going to put the work in, and she'll probably do what you least expect her to do. So.
Yep, she's also KHL's official photographer, so obviously multitasking between playing hockey and photographing hockey. It's definitely a balancing act. I mean, credit to her.
Nonetheless,
it's a full-time job right there.
She's an amazing player. Couldn't fault her on anything really.
Yeah, amazing photographer too, actually.
Yeah,
her photos are
on point.
On point. There you go. From the young guy. On point. Alright, back with the Falcons.
Someone that was with the Falcons originally in their first season. I'm not sure about last season, but he was in their team. He was actually pretty good for that team.
Yeah, I think he was overseas last season.
Maybe
I think he's been in Canada.
Todd Cook?
Yeah, Todd. Yeah, Cookie. Good to see him back.
Don't know how much hockey he's been playing, but
well, that's it. If he's been playing hockey, he's going to be very good. I would say if he's been playing at a Canadian level. I mean, it's entirely likely.
It's a hit or miss. If you hit, it's probably going to be great. If you miss, he's going to find his feet again. So.
Well, exactly right. He's either been playing a lot of hockey in Canada and he's really good, or he's been drinking a lot of beer in Canada and he's going to take a little while to find his feet. But
nonetheless, find his feet. So
he will find his feet. I'm sure. I'm sure he'll find a couple of cans of beer as well.
It's going to be a great. He's also a quick player, so another quick pick that he's just.
Is he?
If he wants to, he can be quick.
Yeah.
Another quick one for that.
I was going to say he's
definitely not as fast as the rest, but he can still pick up speed.
But not a small dude by any means. Oh look.
Finally got some lights in there.
I'd like to say the auto lights just turned on, but no, just somebody behind the camera flicking switches. Hopefully that makes it easier to see at home. I don't even really know if I'm in shot right now. You just hear my voice out the side of the camera.
Benoit Keast,
put on my blazer for nothing.
Benoit Keast, a young player from the Knights last season, has joined the Sting in Division 1.
Yes, Benoit Keast, amazing.
We'll be very interested to see what he can do.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see him get a shot in Div 1. He's obviously also playing in KHL Junior.
For the,
I'll let you answer that one.
I think it's the Saints team.
I believe so.
I think that's their Div 1 team in KHL Junior.
Yep.
Not off to the greatest start, but...
No, a bit of a rough start for them.
A rough start. Player shots.
And he's just come back from a busted leg, if I remember right.
He broke his leg in ice training. I'm not sure how long ago, but it was before the junior season had started, so maybe August, September-ish. Or after, no, it would have been after Nationals. So.
Yeah, interesting. I also know I was speaking to Benoit's father, Alistair, late last week, I want to say, and Benoit has just recently played his first game of BHL ice hockey in Auckland, the league that's run by Cam Green. By all accounts, he was a little nervous going into it, but they had a good game, and I believe they got the win over my old squad, Le Castors, the Beavers. So, I mean, congratulations.
Very interested to see what Benoit can do in Division 1.
Yeah. Surround him with these good players who can dish him the puck and get into space for him.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting transition, I think.
Yeah. Back over to the Caspo for their 5th pick. They've chosen to pick up Oscar Hamilton for their 5th pick.
Yeah.
What can I say about that one?
I like Oscar, great player. Again, played on an NZ squad with Oscar. You know, same squad as with JC and with Arden, and you know a lot of us other old boys, as it was a Masters squad. Quick player, awesome dude. Just
Love him to bits. He's just he's the guy. He's a guy. He's the dude. Just great to hang out with. Great to be around.
Fair enough. I'm not too familiar with Oscar, but
No, a lot of time for Oz. Just a good, down to earth. Sorry, Oz, but older hockey player. Do apologise. I'm older too, mate. It's okay.
moving over to the Royals, the other co-founder of the league, Arden Phillips.
Wasted pick, in my opinion. Absolutely trash.
Has chosen to stay with the Royals for this season, as he hands it over to Jazz.
Bit of a transition phase.
Yeah, help her get the ropes, get the reins of how everything works. But
Yep.
I'm sure that he'll put in the work. And
Another one of the sort of Thunder clan playing in KHL, and
this is going to be very dangerous. Him, Zai, and Ricky working well together, because
yeah.
Arden and Zai are very familiar with one another and play a lot together. So
Yeah, it's going to be a good combination. You throw them in with,
also
basically anybody else on here.
Also, Arden, Zai, and Ricky were all on the same line with myself in the Thunder Senior A team this year, so they're all going to be working well together. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
interesting
still
to see what-
firing come February, right?
interesting to see what that group can pull off.
Yeah.
Moving over to the Dolphins with their 6th pick, I believe.
Sixth pick, yeah. I might let you speak to this one. Ryan Kaiser. I don't know a lot about Ryan, to be honest.
Me neither, to be honest.
Okay.
He's
I wonder if we can get somebody. Maybe we'll call in.
the GM of the
Yeah,
Dolphins.
GM.
I'll
Yeah.
get up so he can have the seat and
Yeah,
get to speak on Ryan Kaiser.
When do I get subbed out?
You don't.
I don't. That's a shame. I'm used to riding the pine, not being the guy.
This is the way. This is the way.
Thanks.
Okay.
I'm good. So we've subbed you in because neither Troy nor myself can really speak to Ryan Kaiser as a hockey player.
Oh yeah.
How much do you know about Ryan? Do we need to sub you out already? Quick shift, is it?
Yeah, maybe. Ryan, I started coaching Ryan when he was just a little fella for the Ravens back in the day. Good player, good wheels, great shot, good work ethic. Yeah, it's good to see him join the KIHL finally. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, I mean, before we move on from your squad, as we've got you here, how are you feeling?
Confident,
Confident?
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't.
Pretty happy with my picks, eh?
Yeah. You. I mean, without naming names, did you get everybody had your eye on? Mostly.
I got certain players that I was targeting.
Yeah.
A couple of surprises in there, but still really happy with the players that I got. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely hard. Obviously, you're picking at number 5 as the season 3 runner-up.
Rough.
Yeah. Well, take the shots while I've got them.
Yeah, barring out.
But yeah, tough to pick at number 5, right? Especially when you start to group players together and you're going, okay, well, these are the guys I think are in this band.
Yeah.
And sometimes, in this case, the bands of 6, 4 are gone already, and you're going, okay, well, or and every now and then there'll be somebody who just throws a spanner in the works and absolutely just casts what you think aside and chooses just somebody completely out of left field.
Yeah, I mean, it's always hard. Like, the managers are playing a game with each other here. That's what the draft is, and you can't always, plan 100% for it. So, you just sometimes you get the players that you kind of given in a way. But I'm still very happy with the picks that we've made so far, and with my big 3 that I've got, Steve, Sam, and Josh, right. Got a good enough core that basically no matter who I pick, I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah, you're pretty dangerous in the middle there, and I know you've been I don't want to say fortunate, but I'm going to use the word fortunate, to have 3 guys who have basically been here since day dot. They re-register every year. You know, Steve Adams, workhorse, just coming in from Australia, flying in, seven weekends a year. You know, I'm sure he spends more time playing hockey than he does working. He's all over the world playing hockey. Whatever he does for a living. I mean, nobody
he does
knows,
hockey
right?
for a living, man.
He does hockey for a living. He does
Yeah.
hockey for a living. You reckon? If only. I wish I could get paid to play. Yeah, unfortunately that's reserved for good players. Oh, back with my old squad with their their 4th pick. Oh, another guy, new guy into the league out of Auckland.
Yeah.
Dan O'Hanlon. I do wonder whether Dan and Jeremy Chai had some conversations ahead of them both sort of signing up, because I know they spend a lot of time playing against each other at Glenfield. Many a fun pickup scrimmage where they would basically play full check against each other, but nobody else.
Yeah, right.
So lots of shoulders being thrown. But Dan, great hockey player, good hands.
Yeah, I heard he's got pretty good hands, eh? Obviously, you know, there's a lot of players in the draft that you have to dig down and do a fair bit of research on, eh? And it's the guys that you don't really know too much about that are the tough picks to make. But you know, I had a look into him, and yeah, that's a good pick there, eh? Really good pick.
Yeah, I do wonder if
Cup of tea, mate.
getting a hoarse throat, obviously, from all these words. Before I have a sip of this, like you say, research, right, on players. It's just not, particularly players who are not coming out of KHL. It's quite difficult. There's a limit to what you can find short of, I suppose, reaching out directly to people they know, or reaching out directly to the player.
It's all, yeah. You got to do your work, eh? You got to do your work and do the research on the players. It's a lot, man. It's a lot to get done before the draft, and yeah.
Yeah, especially when you're kind of waiting until, you know, there's essentially a week between registrations closing and tonight.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of people to try and research in a week. Essentially, hockey becomes a full-time job for a week.
Especially for a bloke like me that kind of struggles with technology. I'm more of a pen and paper kind of guy, so
Dean,
it takes me a little bit longer to get some information.
Gibbets. Sorry, Gibbons. There's no Gibbets, is it?
No, it's not.
Sorry, I always forget your name, mate.
Yeah. Likewise.
We'll keep you on for a couple more picks, and then maybe
Absolutely.
we'll put somebody else in the hot seat, eh?
Glad to hang around.
Yeah, glad to hang around. Yeah. Good. Well, we'll keep you on.
I'll stay all night. Yeah.
Stay all night. Mr. Personality himself, Dean Gibbons. No holes to dig today?
No holes today, mate. Day off.
Alright, with the, what's that, their 6th pick in the draft, the Falcons have selected Theo Taylor. He's,
Like Theo.
like that.
Yeah.
He's,
Good player.
comes from your neck of the woods, if I remember
Yep,
rightly.
Plymouth boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Theo's got all the tools, man.
Yeah.
All the tools. Yeah. He's just got to probably get a little bit more confidence, put it all together, and he'll be a top player, man. And yeah, really good for the Falcons.
Just an element of, well, I'm going to call it confidence. I'm not going to use the expression
that's what
I
it
was
is.
going to use.
Hey, me and him have talked about it
Christ.
already. We've already talked about it with him, so he knows. Yeah, just got to put it all together, and yeah, he could in a few
See what
years
happens.
see himself climbing up the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I look forward to it. Oh, well, you know, we'll let you bow out. We'll get...
Sub out.
Yeah, we'll let you sub out.
Right, good shift.
Quick
Good
shifts, boys. Quick shifts.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Get after it.
Good luck. Thanks, mate. Big dog.
Louis, how are you, mate?
Good.
Mate, I love the t-shirt.
A lot of pressure, mate. Yeah.
Grab that from our merch site, mate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get after it, team. Yeah, got to get the plugs in there, eh?
Absolutely, yeah.
How are you feeling at this point in the draft? How's
Reasonably comfortable.
Reasonably comfortable? Team
yeah.
shaping up okay?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we're going to put a strong foot forward.
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, it's been a tough one. You lost two big
big
names.
losses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you build a team around them, and yeah, you kind of get left in the dark, unfortunately. But
Are you?
it's the nature of the business.
It is. Are you at liberty to speak to the reasoning?
Oh, no idea. Doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
No, not
okay.
at all. Yeah, we rebuild. This year I think it's going to be good. I think I've got the right people to do the right things. So
Yeah, it is definitely tough.
Taking a few risks, you know.
Yeah. Oh well, I hope it pays off for you. Obviously,
Me too.
you know, having been the manager who started your Soldiers franchise, you know, there'll always be a place right here.
Absolutely.
But you know, who knows? Maybe I'll end up back with you. I haven't been drafted yet, so time will tell. We'll see what happens. All right, back with the sting. Joe Dowman. Who is Joe Dowman selected at pick 6? Oh, here's a player. I saw this name on the list. I believe Job. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. Job Ibbotson, out of Hamilton.
No,
Why
he's a minor.
Oh, he's a minor.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I mean, usually I only look as far as where you live. I don't look further down the list than that. So, I mean, I don't know a lot about Job.
He's played Premier for a couple of years now.
Yep, okay, so he's played a bit of Prem. He's a runner. No? He's fast. He's fast. I'm being coached from behind the camera team. The hand signals are, we're not good at charades here at the KIHL. It's
Now, I've seen a little bit of the league that he's played in, so
Yeah.
he's a pretty quick guy.
Yeah.
Pretty solid player.
pretty solid.
Yeah.
So, reliable.
Reliable, yeah. I think he got picked up at the right stage.
Yep.
It's really good. I think he'll be an asset to the Sting.
Yeah,
Supporting
there's
those fast
definitely-
guys like Shane. Mitch,
Yeah.
you know, really structured players.
I look down that list and I start to go,
Dangerous.
well, I feel, and this is not a slight against the Sting of old, but I mean, I know the Sting in prior years have not been the fastest team. I wonder whether Joe is swinging it in the other.
He's definitely
He's
dialed
diluted
it the other way.
He's like, you know what?
He's lowered
It's
the
all
average
about
age.
speed. Lowered the average
Absolutely.
age
Yeah.
a long way.
Yeah.
You know, you think between Benoit, Dan Middleton, and Connor Robertson, he's probably lowered his average age on last year by about 10 years.
Yeah, gone up about 20 kilometres an hour. Yeah. Definitely speeding things up. Oh,
Cool. Well, back with the catapult or catapult. I don't know. Somebody's going to correct me on that, I'm sure. Picking up at pick 6, TJ Drysdale.
yeah, that one hurts. That one really hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
taken us away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, TJ, sorry mate, couldn't retain you this year.
Another new jersey for the collection though.
Yeah,
But
I think he'll fit in with all the rest of those guys there. Young player, still developing. He's really good. Got
Yeah.
good prospects there, fella.
yeah, definitely an element of obviously mixing in TJ with say the Cole
And Dane.
and
Yeah,
Dane
good
and Josh.
leadership.
So some good leadership,
Yeah,
but also some guys that are kind of in that younger age bracket.
yeah.
So
And he works well with Gully as well.
he does.
All those boys that played last year with us, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a good pick.
I do wonder. You kind of go. You've almost been fleeced, mate. You know,
Being fleeced off the
Dane.
championship
I mean,
winning team.
Cole was obviously he was a soldier at the beginning. Josh, and
And,
TJ.
they're all guys I had on my list to pick back up. Like they're solid players.
Yeah.
Especially Dane. It was a bit of a hit not to retain him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was a tough thing. Obviously, having going back to an 8-man roster in Division 1, we shortened the protection list obviously on you guys, your managers from 4 players last season to 3, which has just made things that much more strategic.
Yeah, strategic and complex. Like trying to retain your skill, you know.
Yeah.
With losing those guys, I had to build back up again. So that's where I've retained Troy. Hopefully he'll definitely come through.
Just broad shoulders on Troy, you reckon? Just carry the whole team?
Well, not necessarily. I think I've built the right team around him for sure,
Yeah.
especially with Caleb in there.
Well, I dare say, you probably prior, knowing that you had Troy, I dare say you saw a little bit of, hey, tell me about, what do we need to do, bit of back and forth with him, get his gut feel on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
him and Dion. Yeah.
And Dion, yep.
And Dion.
Well, you can't cut out your captain, mate.
Absolutely not.
He's the magic man.
He's the rock behind the team.
He is. You can't look past either of those guys. So I mean, I wish you guys the best of luck this season.
Thank you very much, sir.
With any luck, I'll be on your next pick. But
I'd like to think so. But you never know.
Never know. We'll see what happens. All right. Looks like we've got another GM waiting in the wings, ready to go.
Yeah.
Dressed up for the occasion, at least on the top half, bit like me. Blaze it up.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks for joining us, mate.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Cheers. Big tour.
How's it going?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good, thanks. Lovely spot you got here.
Yeah, isn't it nice? I mean, I don't know how much you guys can see out the window behind the television, but looking out over sort of Wellington Airport and Cook Strait, etc., it's quite nice.
Great spot. Awesome.
And Wellington put on a cracker day today, so
It's looking a little bit misty out there now, but it's been a pretty hot day.
I mean, it's Wellington, mate. Like, just you can't beat it on a good day. That's what they say, I think. I mean, you live in Tauranga, so or the Mount.
She's Tauranga. I'm in Tauranga. Yeah, she's been pretty hot out there at the moment.
Yeah.
We're having 28-degree days, scorching hot. It's it's been fun playing hockey. We're still getting a bit of time in on our new rink. So
Oh yeah.
might as well get that
Congratulations on that. That's awesome.
Thank you. We'll get a little plug in now while we can.
Yeah, get after it, mate.
Mount Mustangs, new rink out there. Look forward to the 2025 season. It's coming strong.
Nice. All right. Well,
Back to the draft.
back to the draft. Over to you. Oh wow,
Cracker. Speaking of Mount Mustangs,
wow. That's almost like we planned that. I mean, best laid plans. It worked out. We're just winging it, as we have done all draft. The Royals picking up Andrew Coogan, a cracker goalie, hell of a nice guy. Always down for a bit of a yarn. Got a lot of time for Cougs. Played, I think, what was it, Anzac weekend. The old boys were, I think I know what they're called. 38 plus team.
Yeah.
Managed to jump in a squad, and I know Cougs was in there, and I think it was the first time I played with him, and just genuinely nice guy.
And how well did he play as well? I mean, every time he sets foot on the rink, he's giving it his all. He's just like I said, nice guy,
Yeah.
absolute legend. I had the pleasure of sort of spending time with him at the Mount Mustangs in the rink. He's the first one there, last one to leave. And on the court, man, I wish I'd managed to grab him. Unfortunately, missed out.
Yeah, he's definitely effort. He's an effort player. He's always he wants to put in the effort, the hard yards, but super nice about it.
Yep.
Like, he wants to put in the effort, but he's not going to hold everybody else to, not necessarily holding everybody else to that standard. He understands that probably people are playing the game differently based on whatever.
Exactly.
personality.
And the hard thing about being a goalie as well is that, like, you can put in as much effort as you want, but if you're having a bad game, or the team's having a bad game, it's hard to sort of keep that effort up. So, and that's one thing I'll say about Andrew is that he never just sort of gives up. He won't pass blame. He knows if he's sort of having a bad game or whatever. But once again, he keeps focused. He keeps on, and he'll try and prove on sort of what he's doing wrong, what he's doing right, thinks about it, and then just moves on to it. And as a goalie, like, that headspace is a good place to be.
And definitely something you can speak to as I want to say former goalie.
Former goalie. It's been a lifetime since I played in net, but former goalie. Obviously, it's I once again know that mindset is a key thing. You know, if you can't keep focused, and the tough games are the hardest. You know, when you're down by 5-6 goals and everything's looking grim. You know, you can't just kind of go, oh well. You need to, you know, you got to keep that score respectable. There's always a chance of a comeback. You know, once again, and Cougs is just, he's always there. If there's anyone that's going to help you bring back that loss, it'll be Coogan. He'll drag it back and pull off some killer saves, and
Yeah, I think you're right, and when you say headspace is a key thing. As a player, when you see the other team's goalie implode, for lack of a better word, it's basically stat night. It's like, okay, cool, that goalie's not here anymore. They're a million miles away. Let's go.
You got it.
Let's see what happens here. And the hole gets deeper, right? You know. And it takes a lot, I assume, and having never played goalie, but I assume it takes a hell of a lot of willpower to really just go, okay, what's happened has happened. It's each shot as they come. That's it. One at a time. We do our best, and hopefully you can churn a game around. You know, churn it back.
And I mean, you know, like there's the old adage, you know, is that you need to think about what you did wrong, but don't overthink it. And that's it's a very fine line. You know, you look at the last save and think, oh, my block was a bit low, my stick wasn't on the ground, the catcher should have dropped on top of my pads. You know, okay, didn't do it. Think about it next time. Okay, next time. Okay, what's happening now? You know, just move on to it. Don't dwell. Don't think about it. You know, like if it's, oh man, left my catch was too low. You know, and just beat yourself up. That's when you're just going to go downhill. So it's a very much a mental game as much as a physical game playing net.
Very interesting. Oh, okay. We're being rushed along. No more goalie chat, apparently.
Oh, who's this guy?
Yeah, another plug. Just thrown in the mixer. All right, with the 7th pick, the Dolphins have selected me. Dean was obviously threw a dart at a list of player names, and there I am.
Hey, let's be honest here, Sarge. You know, you're a pretty strong player out there, and you know it's.
Thank you, appreciate that.
I mean, to be picked up by Dean, you know, he's shown some good skill in picking his teams. So he's obviously seen something in you.
Yeah, well, he knows what he wants, right? And that is part
someone
of
to carry
it.
the oranges. You got it, yeah.
So yeah, interesting. I mean, yeah, I'm happy to play wherever. You know, Dean called me sort of ahead of the draft and sort of said, hey, look, you know, where do you want to play? And I went, well, it wouldn't be very fair of me as the league co-founder to throw my toys if I don't get to play for the team I want to play for. So I said to him basically, I will play for any team who drafts me and in any division that the GM thinks that suits my skill level. So, you know, happy to be picked up. To go to, you know, a team with as much talent as this wider squad has got. I mean,
looking at that team, there's some young players there, some older ones as well. So you'll probably be sort of sitting probably right about the middle of that pick. Had a guess there.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be an interesting one. I mean, Dean's always got a plan. He's one of those guys. You know, while I jest about him throwing a dartboard at a list of names and just landing on me, he will have his reasoning and he will have some idea what it is he wants me to do within this wider squad. So we will, time will tell.
Perfect. Sounds good.
All right. A player I'm reasonably familiar with, Kieran O'Donnell, younger brother of James O'Donnell, another lightning boy from way back. No offence, Kieran. I don't expect you're watching, but I will apologise either way for saying that. Smaller guy, very quick, very hard working. He is that guy that will get in under your arms, steal a puck away, and he's gone. Like
prior to the draft, before we started, his name's getting thrown around a lot. You know, amongst the managers. You know, it was you know, he's like you said, he's small, he's fast, he's agile, he can score goals. You know, he causes trouble for everyone. So yes, I'm not surprised to sort of see him, you know, get selected there, and especially for the Soldiers, that's a great pick. It's a really great pick.
Yeah, I feel like he will have something to prove this season, having played the majority of last season in Division 2 after coming back off injury. I think he's going to be out to prove that Division 1 is where he belongs.
Definitely.
And show why.
Yeah.
So I really look forward to seeing what he's got in the tank, ready to go. Particularly as you throw him into this squad. Obviously, Kieran and Joel have played quite a bit of hockey together. You know, you go Kieran and Joel, Dan and Jeremy, Amber and Troy. You know, you start to see what those combinations are going to look like. And then obviously with Caleb Rock backstopping, I mean, he's a great young goalie.
Interesting looking at that team there actually, and I didn't notice it before, but it's quite a fast team, right? You know, like you've got some very quick players there. You know, Troy, Jeremy, and Dan Hanlon with some great mitts and a bit of pace on them as well. Mixed with Kieran O'Donnell, there's I think some of those older boys and some of the other teams might struggle to keep up with this young team here.
Yeah, and you know, throw in a couple of lefties to just mix it up.
Yeah.
Really confuse those of us who are used to just predominantly playing against right-handers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good mix of sort of age and youth. So it'll be interesting to see how the Soldiers pan out this next season.
Yeah, I mean, I am impressed with this squad so far. Particularly, you know, taking into account the trials and tribulations that Lewis had to face. What with losing his two standout players from last season. Lewis wouldn't speak to it. I'm going to speak to part of it. Callum Hawthorne, obviously great player, had come a long way. Last year was unreal.
Yeah, outstanding.
An unreal season, but my understanding is he played between KIHL, NPL, Narch, Rink Wars, and going to ACC. He played 101 games of hockey last season.
That's a lot of games of hockey.
That's more games than a professional hockey player. And he would also, I presume he was working. I presume he also has a full-time job.
Yeah.
So to do all of that and work full-time when a professional hockey player is playing, you know, if you're in the NHL, 82 game season, and that's all they do, is play hockey and train.
It sounds like his family has probably never seen him.
Yeah, probably not.
Too busy playing hockey, huh?
And I would say I mean, I can't speak to this, but I would say the wallet took a large hit. There's 2 overseas trips in there.
Yeah.
But that stuff's not cheap, right?
It's not cheap. It's not cheap. Yeah.
So,
full credit though for you know, putting that work in and you know, and getting a massive season of hockey out of it. It's a shame to not see him come back this season. But like I say, he was always amazing to watch. Watching him and Jan Turia together was just amazing. I never really sort of watched Jan play before. I never sort of knew much about him until he sort of played that 3rd season of KIHL. Seen Callum play quite a bit. Obviously, he played sort of season 2, and seeing the two together just was absolutely incredible to see how well they bounced off each other, and also to see the similarities in their play. The full face cage on both of them. It was oftentimes a little bit tricky to tell them apart, you know. Which is, you know, it's a credit to both of them because they're both outstanding players. I'm sure they wouldn't, you know, be ashamed of being compared to each other.
I'm sure they wouldn't. Watching Callum grow over the last 2 seasons of KIHL, just unreal. I've gained a lot of respect for Callum. I played with Callum's older brother once upon a time, way back in the day. With Joe Downen and Harriet and a few others as well, and at that point Callum was just a boy, a kid, right?
How was he now?
He must be 22, 23.
So still young.
Still a young man.
Yeah.
A lot of time to really find his feet.
He's only going to get better, right?
Yeah, I do not look. I hope I drop out before I have to play a 28-year-old Callum. Let's put it that way, because.
Well, hopefully he signs up for maybe 26 season and we can maybe look at getting drafted into Falcons.
No, that's not going to happen. Soldiers for life. All right, it looks like we've got another manager ready to swagger on in here.
Excellent. Before I go, thank you, Nathan.
No, thank you.
Always a pleasure. Before I go, I'll shout out to the boys in Waihi.
Yes, good man.
Shout out to Jack and Johnny, obviously joined the Falcons along with Todd Cook. Jack's making a return to Falcons, which is awesome to see. I'm glad I managed to scoop him up. So have a beer for me, boys, and yeah, I will catch you around.
Add it to the 11 you've already had.
I think they're only on the lemonades tonight. So.
Oh, sure they are. Yeah. That's what Crate Day's all about, isn't
You
it?
got it.
Thanks,
guys.
Cheers,
Nathan.
Hello.
Hello.
I got told I have to move this.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. All right. Push the chair and you can see too much of Nathan and not as much of anyone else. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. How's everything going in your first
Oh, it's good.
GM season draft?
Yeah, it's cool. It gives you like an admiration for how much work goes into it. I think gives you an understanding because I've just rocked up and played every season, but actually what goes behind it and why people make certain picks when you might sit in your armchair and think, ooh. But you know, who's played with certain people, they know who they play well with and things like that. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. But it's a lot of fun as well. The boys are good value.
Yeah, we've got a good bunch going on.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. It's a full-time job on top of a full-time job.
Yeah, I bet.
And I can only imagine the sort of hours you work and the sort of stuff you've got going on. I work a pretty standard, 9 to 5 style job, and I almost never put down my phone. I'm
No,
always
I
talking
bet.
to somebody about something.
Yeah, I bet.
But that's the bet I made, and it's the bet I lie in, and I will continue to so long as the players continue to sign up and enjoy playing hockey. Right? That's
Worth it for good hockey.
That's exactly right.
Sure, it's worth it for us.
Exactly
I'm not
right.
doing.
Well, it's worth it for everyone, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. We just want good hockey,
Mm.
first and foremost. And thank you to everybody who signed up. Thank you to everybody who is watching the draft from home. Just all the support, whether that's on social media, whether it's just reaching out to any of us individually. I think we're always stoked to hear about the good feedback,
Yeah.
the good and the bad. Actually, we.
Take on bad, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, we're fortunate not to get a lot of bad feedback,
No.
but obviously we want that because it
Yeah.
allows us to improve. Right?
Yeah,
That's what it
100%.
comes down
Yep.
to. All right, so where are we at? We're at pick number 7 for the Falcons, and they have picked up another goalie in Maya Rata.
Solid.
Solid goalie.
Yep.
Solid goalie. Great, just a great guy.
Oh,
Awesome
such
to be
good
around.
value. Such good value. I mean, Craig definitely didn't muck around with that one.
No,
Yeah.
he was just like boom.
Yeah.
That's who I'm taking. Hit
Yeah.
it. There, done.
Yeah.
Maya was obviously our season 3 draft host.
Yes.
There was some commentary. It was a hot night in
Yeah, there's a
Taupo.
lot of sweat.
There was a lot of sweat.
Yeah.
But he did a hell of a job. I would say he did a much better job than I've done this evening. But that's down to personality. He's a big personality. Hell of a guy.
Yep.
Another one of those guys that was on that NZ squad with myself, Arden, JC, and Oscar.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
How long is that pushing back now?
oh, that must have been 17 or 18.
Oh yeah, push it back a little while.
Yeah, she's a wee
Good
while
value
ago.
then. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think I was only just Masters eligible, so
Oh yeah.
yeah, 30, 31. Yeah. Oh God. Showing my age. So Maya Rata picked up. What are you thinking?
So it's a good looking team. I mean, it's a real range of strong heads, like people that played for a long time, a lot of hockey IQ,
Yep.
and then you've got your young guns, I mean, I was gutted when he took Jack. Yeah, but I really wanted Jack to stay. Oh, I had the issue with Royals that I had too many that I wanted to keep everyone, right? That was an awesome team and you can only do what you can do and then people are going to steal them because you're fourth. And then, yeah, so it is what it is. But that Brandon Fletcher pick first is just spot on.
Yeah.
He is such good, he's an amazing hockey player. Especially Red Bulls, he stood out by far.
And you, I mean, obviously you made some moves ahead of
Yeah.
the draft, which for a new GM I thought was quite bold but very calculated.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it's kind of when I was thinking about that before I even put my hand up for GM, is the Sean and Tim. But I've played with them for years in ice hockey, and they are just tic-tac-toe. They, you know, you add Sam K in there as well, who unfortunately isn't in KIHL, but they are weapons together because they just find each other in a ring.
Yep.
And I want that. I want to see how that plays out. And if I've made a mistake, which I'm sure I haven't, I'll learn from it and I'll move on, you know? Like, that's hockey.
Well, and that's it, right? Like you say, this, as much as playing hockey, there will be missteps where something just doesn't go quite the way you expected.
Yeah.
But it's not about the mistake, it's about how you adjust from the mistake, right?
Totally. And you've got amazing picks. Like, hey, Jason McMahon. And I did everything to try and keep him, and then we got dropped to 3 picks, and it's like, what can you do? I traded for Tim. I've got to keep Tim and Sean, and Tim and Sean, and I was never getting rid of OD. That's never going to happen. So, yeah.
Oh, well, you heard it here first, OD. You're going to be
He's
you're a royal forever.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the next pick, shall we? Oh, Sting going back to the well. I see.
That's a good choice.
That is a good choice.
Very good
I've got a lot of respect for Nick Tom. Great hockey player, great human being.
Yeah.
Don't mean to call this out. Probably fallen a little bit in terms of draft ranking from prior years.
That's hard though. I like the rank now. Like the people coming through. Like some of these young guns are stealing spots, and that's going to happen. And if anything, that's really good for the sport. And I think
100%.
someone like Nick will respect that. And he's still solid as so.
Yep, and I think you're right. It's not about the older players going, no, it's about us. It's, no, you will be selected by your peers and play where your skill says you should play.
Absolutely.
So if the young guys come through and they push the old guys out, those are just the facts.
Well, it's exciting. It's exciting to see.
Yeah, it's good for the game.
Yeah. Definitely gutted. Jace went though.
Yeah.
Joe's first pick. I was hoping to steal him back, but such is life.
Alas, not to be.
Yeah.
All right.
Joe, you're up. Cool.
Oh.
Joe can talk about his awesome deal.
Thanks for joining us.
No
It was an
worries.
awesome deal.
How's it going, bud?
Hey, Joe, how are you, mate?
Not too bad, mate. I made it. I'm in the right country this time. So
You're in the right country.
Yeah,
Mr.
so-
Worldwide's back in the land of the long white.
Yeah, it's a good start to the year.
We lost somebody else instead.
Yeah. Nathan's obviously abroad this year.
Mr.
Mr.
Fiji.
Mr. Fiji, yeah.
We'll see if we can get him back in the land of the long white for next season's draft.
Yeah. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah. So, I mean, before we announce this pick, I know it's up on the screen here, and I'm sure everybody at home can read. I mean, sometimes I wonder because hockey players, but
Yeah.
no offense. How are you feeling? How do you feel your squad's shaped up
I'm
to this point?
feeling pretty good. I think, it's obviously went in a wildly different direction this year to my last year. Sort of more akin to season 2, which was obviously very successful for us. We got to the semi-final, which was good. But I don't know. I feel like the game's changing. We need to be a bit, like my team need to be a bit quicker last year, so we've obviously gone that direction. But I've tried to still make picks, choose players that I feel move the puck effectively, efficiently. Good smart hockey players. That play the way I want to play. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're finding it's going well.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously picks that I I would have liked to make. You know, there's one or two which I'm kind of kicking myself I didn't get to grab. But it's